Alright, so today I'm starting a new challenge here on YouTube. We can call it Road to 100k. Just to challenge myself and see how quickly I would get up to that amount if I had to do it all over again. As many of you who are into investing, you might have heard Charlie Munger say that the first 100k is a bitch. You just have to get into it. It doesn't matter exactly how, if you have to buy everything with a coupon and sleep on the mattress. I'm paraphrasing now, but something like this is how the quote goes. So I thought it would be fun to just see, alright, how quickly could I get to 100k if I had to try to do it all over again. I made a new account on Revolut for this purpose, just to put money from the paycheck in there. Started that account in March this year as I was in Brazil. Just took some cash from the paycheck to get it started, basically. And this was when MPW cut Dividend, so it was a pristine time to get into it, as you might have known if you followed along on this channel and saw the videos I did on MPW in the past. So the purpose will now be to just build a dividend stock portfolio. In that case, I think that suits the lifestyle that I'm trying to get to very well. It's super easy to just collect those dividends and then take them out into the normal Revolut card, exchange them to whatever currency is the currency in the country that I'm in without any fee, and then just use that money on steaks, cigars, or other things that I like. So a very noble challenge indeed, getting the cigar dividend, so to say. So you will see me covering a few dividend stocks on a quarterly basis for this one. And today we also have the dividend coming in from MPW. So 6,000 shares, 15 cents each. That will be $900 in dividends coming in from that quarter today. And I will just take all of that and reinvest it into MPW. I know there's quite a lot of short interest in it, and the yield is extremely high. I don't think it's yield chasing in this case. I think that the company has hit a temporary setback with some issues with the tenants. I think it's overcomable from what I've seen from watching the news, hearing politicians doing meetings with the hospital operators. I don't think that anybody wants to see hospitals fail in their state, and those troubles that were COVID related, from not having as many in the emergency rooms anymore, etc., seems to be all in the past now. So it's going to be very interesting to see the development on that stock. Maybe the challenge will be met super early given the fair value on the balance sheet, but we will see. The market is always a voting machine in the short term and then a weighing machine in the long term. And it's going to be very, very painful for shorts indeed to stay having a short interest in this stock if they keep having to cover dividends of this yield and this magnitude. There was a cut here from 30 to 15 cents each quarter, and it would be quite nice to get $1,800 every quarter from that current amount of shares. I think that could be a great way to support lifestyle going forward as well. I know that dividend is not the optimal way of investing in theory with all the calculations and looking at it from an academic perspective. We see the leveraged approach being hailed in research papers. However, in terms of real life, it's a lot easier to do something that's a lower risk, a lower volatility, supports the unforeseen things that happen in day-to-day life, or when the market drops, you don't need to sell, you can just cut back on the expenses, buy a few less cigars, live on the dividend. And then when the market goes up again and assets are valued higher, well, then you can start sell off growth stocks again and live more like a king. So it's just more flexibility in terms of the lifestyle that I will be able to support for myself by building just 100k dividend portfolio. So in this case we see Medical Properties Trust. As I talked about, it's a temporary setback in this case, in my opinion, with these hospitals. And then we also have AGNC, which is a mortgage REIT, so they don't have any assets that they operate, they just collect the money from the interest payments on mortgages. So it's mortgage-backed securities that they have on the balance sheet, basically. Definitely not something I recommend, super high risk. I put it in the same bracket as I do with options or crypto. This was just me being a bit bored, and I decided to put some extra gambling money into that one. I tend to do that from time to time. I've been investing since 2011, and when you've been doing it for a very long time, well, sometimes it feels very good to spice things up a little bit. And with 15% in dividend yield, that's a quite nice one as well. They will have a payment here coming up on the 9th. So some extra dividend to reinvest there as well. So if you have any suggestions on REITs for me to look into, I looked into of course, realty income, but I was not super happy with what I saw in terms of the assets on the balance sheet. I think it's very likely to perform according to market average on that one, in my opinion. So don't suggest that one in the comments. I already looked at it. I won't make a video on it. I think it will have close to market returns going forward. It's quite large as well. And it's a lot harder to scale when you have a big market cap. You have to buy properties that are outside of your niche and all this kind of stuff. It'd be more fun to look into, for example, a REIT that's doing data centers. That would be something I would be interested in, since I work selling data centers. It's very much within my area of expertise, and I would be able to look at the properties and see if they're in, some good locations in terms of coverage, comparing it to, for example, public cloud coverage, and looking at where the need for these smaller providers would be greater. I would just get more of a feel if this company has a greater chance of becoming more successful than the average company, and thus providing us investors with above market returns, which we always seek because it feels good to make a ton of money. That being said, as always, I hope you guys make a ton of money, whatever investments you decide to make. Take care now. Bye bye.